Okay, so right now I'm currently kind of slightly building the chassis for the electric speaker. Doesn't look amazing right now. It's using zip ties to hold itself together. Zip ties and this, as you might have noticed, these kind of stick out, and the reason why is I want these to poke into what will effectively be the speaker kind of like front wall, and then this is just the frame. There'll be side walls on all four sides. Yeah. Doesn't move around too much, but you can hear it a little bit, which is not good for speakers that vibrate a lot. So this is the front, as you can see, just move the amp. These are the two car speakers. I think they're upside down right now. They sound okay. They sound pretty okay. These speakers were picked up for about 40 bucks off of Amazon. The amp was $15 off of Amazon. So this is the back of it, actually sitting on the bottom of the chassis. So you can see these are a pair of car speaker cones. They're hooked up in parallel because right now they can only pull about 40 watts each. Technically 260, but I want to be safe. And this thing will output about 200 watts per channel. So 260, 200 watts, it's about where it should be. I don't want to push it any further than that. So I'm only using one channel, and they're so close to each other, and because it's supposed to be like able to fill a large room, that should be enough wattage. Basic amplifier, it's digital, it's about 90% efficiency. Say hi, Cole. Don't know how I'm gonna screw this in. Probably a similar fashion. As you can see, I've fashioned my own solution to having a headphone jack. So these are the NeoPixels that I'm using to light up the box. The box will probably look best in the dark. These are individually addressable. Focus, focus, focus. These are individually addressable LEDs. These are called NeoPixels. The technical term for these are WS2812Bs. Basically, you have a strip of them, or as you can see, this is actually 8 strips of them. You have one pin, and that one pin will be able to control all these lights individually. Just cut them up into the strips you need, which is, as you can see, I have. So you just solder a connection. You solder a connection to the bottom of the NeoPixels, so you can see. And as you can see here, we actually have 4 boards, and yes, I know it's right next to the sink. The sink is not on. We have the 2 controllers, and then we have 2 Raspberry Pis. Only one of these controllers and 1 Pi will be used. This Pi will be our Spotify server, so we can access Spotify music. And I'm hoping to have it, this is a Raspberry Pi 3, it has a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi built in. And I'm gonna just try set up so the Bluetooth, it can act as a Bluetooth receiver and basically output audio through the headphone jack right there. And then the Arduino is going to be attached to the NeoPixels, and that's exactly why, right here. And that'll control the lights, and this will control the music delivery, and of course the amplifier IC right over here, which actually should be put like that, will handle the music. So this is the electric box partially working. Right now it only has the front LEDs on. It has the 2 car speakers with the 200 watt amp, and yes, I know it looks like a very bad mess. This is part of the amp powering it. I know it's really messed up. As you can see, it's attached to my phone, and the lights are kind of blinking to the music a little bit. Basically, you have the frequencies, the tones, the range, and the color ranges change as it goes up and out on both sides, and the strip's off by a little bit, which kind of sucks. This strip has 1 more light than that one. So this is the amp right now. This is the amp right now that's powering the speakers. This is the Arduino powering the lights. We have a separate power supply powering the lights because the Arduino definitely can't pull enough energy to push out this much power. Thinking of lowering down the brightness, but it looks pretty cool. This is gonna be another quick just update. As you can see right now, we have some more additional light strips on the front and back. And no, it's not glued on yet. You can still pull it off, and that's because I'm still working on the insides. It's been cleaned up a little bit. It's actually not terribly dirty in there. It's really just this side that needs to be cleaned up. The other side's pretty empty. The lights are obviously all working and fully functional. Right now, we have one supply for the Arduino, one supply for all the lights. This is a 2 or 3 amp thing. Honestly, with these many lights, I assume that it's probably supposed to be taking something like 4 or 5 amps. But for some reason, a 3 amp power supply seems to be working absolutely fine. I think it's because I lowered down the brightness a little bit. This outlet goes to a 200 watt power supply right there, and that powers the 200 watt amp. And we won't test out the entirety of those 200 watts, but we have the 260 watt. I'm not sure if that's per speaker or both of them in total cones, which seems to be working a-okay. So yeah, I just have a quick song that I'm gonna try out. Actually haven't put on the side lights, so there's supposed to be additional lights right here. These strips, supposed to be putting them on the sides or maybe possibly on the top, I'm not sure yet. It is obviously working. This is of course a cardboard speaker. Cardboard isn't the greatest for audio, but the audio quality is actually surprisingly good. Turning up the volume doesn't seem to cause vibrations, or at least as many as I had anticipated. I was thinking it'd be a vibrating mess, but I've glued down pretty much the entire frame. This is the final update on the speaker. It's finally done after a few days of working on the project. And while obviously there are a couple errors, like the speakers are off, the lights are bad, I mean, it's not a very well polished object, but hey, for a science project, I think it's pretty cool. It's gotten a lot sturdier since I first built it. The sides and the front and the top, they're all good. It's pretty stable. Wouldn't mind this thing falling. I think if anything, it's the wires that might get messed up on the inside. The chassis itself, I don't think it'll be experiencing too many issues. This will go inside the box eventually, but I'm not having enough time to do that and just to clean this entire thing up and to glue it all. I don't have enough time because I have some other things for the Genius project I gotta do. I have some really cool things that I'd like to show you. So first of all, the lights do blink to music. This is just how they are in their normal state. And then I have this, which is a cell phone, and this cell phone is attached to the internet, which is attached to that Pi, and that allows me to choose music. Okay, so now I just found a song. Now I want to listen to it, so I just click Clarity. And of course, I can change the volume. So as you can see, the lights work on both sides. Everything seems to be working fine. Originally planned to have the strips on this side and on this side, but I realized I wouldn't have enough time, the amount of issues that could potentially present, and I was already so far into building the physical box that I realized I'd have to redo quite a bit of it, and I actually really like how it turned out. It's not very clean, but it's very similar to something that I would build, obviously, since I built it, and I'm really liking the effect. Audio quality is pretty good. With the Raspberry Pi, I'm not using a separate amp, so that mini amp right there, which I think is that really small circuit somewhere down there, it's not very good at all. So the audio quality out of the Raspberry Pi doesn't sound the greatest. However, after I tuned it and stuff, and it's attached to my laptop or something with a better DAC or digital to analog converter, it sounds quite a bit better. But this is more than capable of just decent living room listening. And so yeah, we'll have a bit more of a demo real quick. We crash 'cause we both know